Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, and I'm taking care of business. Joining me today is Annie Dormuth, who is Provincial Director for BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan for the Canadian Federation of Independent Business. Annie, the organization's red tape report card came out today, and Alberta did fairly well. A minus overall, second only to Manitoba at A. Why is Alberta moving in the right direction when it comes to this?
Well, definitely this Alberta government has been, I would have to say, a kind of taking or have a renewed focus on red tape reduction ever since that they were elected, and they've made some great strides on many fronts, which has contributed to the fact that in the last 3 years they've gotten a B, an A, and now an A minus. So this is their second A category grade in only a couple years. So kudos to the Alberta government on really focusing and taking great steps to reduce red tape in the province.
All right, super. Let's look at a couple of the categories when it comes to red tape. One is called regulatory accountability. If you could explain what that is and why Alberta got an A in that category.
Well, Alberta, like a lot of other governments, actually are very much improving on this key category of our report card, and that is, of course, regulatory accountability. What that comes down to is whether or not the government has a count of all the regulatory burden in the province, which Alberta does, whether or not they have a kind of public reporting website or mechanism for all Albertans, anyone to submit their red tape irritants or headaches. They have that. They have an annual report, as well as, although it's not legislative, they've continually passed legislation on red tape reduction, kind of a larger bill on that front. So they also get good marks on that. So yeah, lots of great work on the accountability front. But of course, on the regulatory burden, which is 40% of their entire grade, that is where we are seeing all governments across Canada need to step up their game a little bit more there.
And what is, Alberta, first of all, got a C in regulatory burden. What does that mean? What does that entail?
Well, that entails the overall burden of regulatory burdens in the province. So we use, won't get into the weeds of it, but we use something called the Mercatus data to use or count how much regulatory burden is in each province, as well as we grade on other factors such as being able to ship wine or have wine shipped to your province. That is one area that we continually grade on, and we call on all governments to really look at that with regards to internal trade and reducing regulatory trade barriers across the entire country. So on those aspects, that's where Alberta has fallen a little bit off the grade and lost a couple marks there, but still overall in the A category with an A minus.
I take it that though, even though it's down in that category, it has improved in that category over the years for Alberta?
Well, we can't really compare apples to apples because our grading methodology continues to change. So it's very hard to compare the burden section from last year or even the year before that, because we continue to evolve this report card. But again, just calling on all governments to, we've given them kudos for the accountability. Now it's time to step up on the regulatory burden side of things.
Now, just for a bit of clarification here, when we talk about this report, when it comes to red tape, are we just talking at the provincial level, like regarding provincial government, or is the municipalities involved in this factor in?
No, we simply just grade the provinces and as well as a little bit the federal government, but this is mostly directed to provincial governments. But it's also important to note that there's no shortage of also regulatory red tape among the municipalities, and our call to action for municipal governments is also to look at ways to reduce red tape, maybe looking at some ideas from the province, for example, having their own municipal red tape headache reporting website and things like that.
Yeah, and we can talk, about red tape and the frustration and all that, and the work involved and all that. But the bottom line is it becomes a bottom line for these businesses, the more red tape there is, right?
Well, and it becomes an irritant for all people too. We've shown two great examples of red tape reduction this week as well to the governments of Alberta and Nova Scotia for taking action to reduce red tape amongst healthcare and labor mobility. These are some great win-win examples. It doesn't always have to be about businesses. It can also just be about people making adoption easier, using an electronic copy of driver's license. All of that goes to make business owners' lives easier, and also all Albertans' lives easier.
Yes. All right, super. Thanks, Annie, for joining us today.
You're welcome.
All right, that was Annie Dormuth, who is Provincial Director for BC, Saskatchewan, and Alberta for the Canadian Federation of Independent Business. I'm Mario Toneguzzi. This has been Taking Care of Business. Thanks for joining us today.